Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the FPL Duo. This is the FPL Game Week 34 transfer tips video. In this video, we will be recommending you two players to buy, two players to sell, two players to hold, and two players to ignore. Now, this is the series where we speak about the transfers. But before we get into any of the players, just like to say, how you, Jordan? How you doing?
Yeah, very well,
What's
thank
new?
you. Well, I got a green arrow. That's new.
Oh yeah, you're on
the
a green arrow,
start,
aren't you?
yeah, after the start of this dismissal of red downgrade from the start of this game week, I thought, oh, it's going to be a terrible game week. It's turned out to be an amazing game week. Not for
Yeah.
everyone though.
I'm on a
Obviously.
slight red arrows, or we all come on to our teams. We'll probably discuss that tomorrow, innit, when the games are over. Probably
Yeah,
quickly touch on that tomorrow because obviously Burnley are playing Southampton in 45 minutes time, and that's the last game of the weekend. Oh, sorry, of the game week. So I've got two players playing tonight. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully Vegas can get a hat trick or something crazy, but not holding my breath.
yeah, and I got one player tonight, and that's Broha.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's Broha versus Weghorst.
Yeah, I've got both playing. So let's see what happens. Anyway, let's move on to the players now. This is the transfer tips video. So moving on to the first player we recommend you should buy for this double game week is Mason Mount. Now, Mason Mount is the player we recommend you should buy for double game week 34 because, as you know, Chelsea do have a double game week. Now, Chelsea play West Ham at home and Manchester United away. So not bad. I know last night they lost 4-2 to Arsenal, and that has potentially now that could change some people's mind about Chelsea assets. Do you need to triple up on them or whatnot? But I do think Mason Mount is probably one of the better options out of the Chelsea attackers. We'll come on to the next player. But it is Mount at 7.6 million, I think is good value. 16.8% owned. I think that is going to go a lot higher before the end of the deadline. Expected goals per 90 at 0.34, expected assists per 90 as well, 0.28. So his numbers are quite good. 10 goals, 9 assists this season. So yeah, Mountain is having a pretty decent season. West Ham at home could be good for Chelsea. Manchester United as well away. I mean, that isn't going to be as difficult, I believe. It's Manchester United coming off the back of a 4-0 defeat to Liverpool. So, and Chelsea coming off a defeat to Arsenal as well. So, going to be a good game with that one, I think, for the neutral, and then West Ham. So, yeah, as a double game week players go, I think Chelsea is the way to go. I think Man United's double game week is a lot tougher. You could go Man United, but I like Mount. I think he's a decent pick for this game week, and he's one that I'm looking to bring into my team. And yeah, he's one that I'm looking to bring in, and I think you should bring in a Chelsea attacker this week. What do you make of it anyway, Jordan, about the Chelsea attack? Would you be bringing in Mount yourself, or
It's going to be
what's your plans?
a bit of a tight squeeze to bring Mount in because the plan was to take out Salah if he did well against Man United, which he did. So the plan is slightly changed for that. I want to bring in at least Mason Mount, but the budget is making it harder for me to bring him in because he's 7.6 mil.
Mm-hmm.
So it would require to get rid of someone that's expensive like Salah, but there's not really anyone apart from Kane or Salah that's worth the price.
Okay. Well, yeah, Mason Mount is someone that we do recommend, guys, that you bring in. I think he is a key double gaming 34 player. Now, let's move on to the second player that we have, and Jordan will go through this player who we recommend also. So the second player on our buy list is Kai Havertz.
So yeah, it's two Chelsea buy players this game week. 34. It seems to be the standout. There's not really any other team that you'd really want to target apart from Chelsea players for this double game week. It's obviously because Man United would have been a favourable one like Ronaldo, but obviously because of family reasons and the way Man United have been, as we've seen against Liverpool, I don't think it's worthy of putting a Man United player in the buy player section. So we've got two Chelsea players. So Kai Havertz is the second one. So he's had a total of 43 shots. He's had 2 assists. He's had 19 shots on the goal, and he's got 7 goals. So he has picked up a bit more form on his statistics. And at the start of the season, he was kind of a bit not really scoring any goals, not really getting much, or not playing enough minutes as well. He was lacking playing any minutes at all because Lukaku was playing over him instead. But during the mid and late end of the season, he has recovered from it with quite good numbers. As we've seen, he's hauled twice recently, and his XG is pretty high as well. His XG per night is 48, and his XA
expected assists. Yep.
Yeah, expected assists per night is 11, a bit lower, but yeah, he is a goal threat for Chelsea, especially playing if he starts obviously over Lukaku.
He didn't start last night, did he?
No, Lukaku started over Havertz in that game.
So that was strange.
Yeah, it is strange. I reckon because Lukaku is fit now, he might get more game time in football, but it does make Havertz a rotation risk slightly because of that. But despite that, he is definitely a player to buy for this double game week because he probably will score probably in the West Ham game most likely, and if he does play in the Man United game as well, it would be a good fixture for him to play in the Man United game though. I think that would be much more easier, and he's a differential still. He's only 8.2% owned. He's expected to go up probably over 10% by the end of this deadline for the game week. He is a bit more expensive than Mason Mount, though. He is 7.9 mil, so it might be a bit of a tighter squeeze in your budget, depending on how your team is set up to get him in your team. But we would definitely recommend if you have both in your team, I should say, and probably hold into the rest of the season because the matches left now are displayed on the screen. So those are the fixtures. There's no more after game week 38. That is all you've got. So we're nearing the end of the season now. So Chelsea's fixtures till the end of the season now look great. 2 double game weeks, and then the single game weeks at Everton away, Leicester home, and Watford home.
Yeah, they look good. They look good on paper, I'd say, especially the single game week fixtures. So you could hold Chelsea to the end of the season. And I do like the Mount and Havertz double up, or even as Ken with a comment says, Werner could also be a possibility. He seems to be on form at the minute. Yeah, you could bring in Werner as well, or you can go with a Havertz or Mount. It's just I prefer having one at the back. I think 1 Chelsea defender and 2 attackers, whether that's Havertz and Werner, or Mount and Werner, or Mount and Havertz, however way you want to go. But he's saying it's personally between Havertz and Mount.
Yeah, because I think Werner is 8.9 mil, so he's a bit expensive for forward. But he is a good pick, though. I do have to agree with Ken with that. I did pick him in my wildcard video that we did previously.
Yeah,
as the triple Chelsea, Mount, Havertz, and Werner.
Yeah, the only thing with Werner, it's a bit tough to fit him in the budget wise because you'll have to basically, most people have Kane and 2 cheap forwards, whereas what you'll have to do is change the structure of your team. Maybe take Kane out for Werner. And that's the only reason I don't want to go Werner. But if you can fit him in, I think he's a good differential, especially for that double game week. It looks like he's playing again, got a bit of confidence. And he's been on the score sheet recently as well a couple of times. But yeah, now let's move on to the next part of the video. So the 2 players we'll recommend you buy are the 2 Chelsea players. It is Mount and Kai Havertz. Now, the next player we recommend that you sell this week is a controversial one maybe, but it's Saka. Now, we've put Saka on this list mainly because he is at 6.8 million. And if you wanted to bring in Chelsea attackers, you could sacrifice a Saka to bring him in. Now, we saw the game yesterday. Saka looks like he is on penalties. I don't know if that's the case because if Lacazette comes back into the team, I don't know if Saka will still be on penalties. So I think Lacazette is usually the penalty taker, so bear that in mind. But this Saka, is he one of the most transferred out players this week? As I think he is, isn't he, Saka?
Yeah, he is the most transferred out, 100,000 transfer out so far. And
which is
behind him.
Yeah, that's quite interesting because Saka obviously scored last night. I think he's still a good player to have in your team now. That sell is more down to the fact if you wanted to get rid of him to bring in double Chelsea attack. If you want to bring in Havertz and Mount and you need the money, I think you could get rid of Saka because he has game week 34 against Man United. It could be a low scoring game, but we don't know because Man United, you don't know what you're going to get with Man United. Then he's got West Ham, which looks quite tough in 35. And then if you've got a chip, free hit or whatever, you could play that in 36 and you could bring him back in for that with your chip. Then after that, he's got Newcastle, Everton. So you could go without him for the next 2-3 weeks, but it is a riskier one getting rid of Saka. I think it makes sense if you really like Mason Mount and Kai Havertz and you want to get double Chelsea attack. I think you can get rid of him. But if you're not feeling the Chelsea attack and you think maybe you can get away without one, I'd keep Saka. So it depends on what you think of Chelsea and if you need the budget, I'd say, innit? What would you say, Jordan?
Yeah, the only thing is the budget. Because I can't even do that Saka to Mount or Havertz because it's too much money for that player. I don't have the extra money for that. So a lot of people will be in that position to probably keep Saka instead of selling him. But if you can afford it, then selling Saka is probably a better choice to bring in Chelsea assets, especially for the double game week.
Yeah, I agree. Only sell Saka if you want double Chelsea attack, I'll say. But yeah, before we get into the next player, guys, please, for everyone that is in the stream, please don't forget to drop a like on the stream and also subscribe if you're new around here. Really appreciate your support. Now, let's move on to the second player that we recommend that you sell this week. And that is Rafinha. I'll let you explain why, Jordan.
Okay, so if we look at Rafinha's fixtures after game week 34, obviously, he's got Man City home. And then the double game week, he's got Arsenal away and Chelsea home. So you can sort of see why he's a sell player. Because if we're talking about the midfield players, especially, you really want to pick one that has a decent double game week, but also doesn't have bad fixtures up to the run up to them. Even though Leeds have a double game week, they're still not in great shape as a team. I know Rafinha is an outstanding player in Leeds. Probably one of the best players they have, but despite that, there is other choices that you could probably consider more beneficial in the upcoming game week. So if you imagine Chelsea have double game week in 34 and Rafinha has Crystal Palace, a single game fixture against Crystal Palace, you're going to expect like Mason Mount or Havertz or someone in Chelsea to outscore Rafinha just from one fixture. I don't think Rafinha will outscore either Mount or any Chelsea player in that game week. So you got to think of it in that way as well. And also in the long-term aspect, because after game week 36, that's when these fixtures get easier and they're Brighton home and Brentford away. But then that's the end of the season. Game week 38 is the last week. So I wouldn't be holding Rafinha anymore. I think after game week 34 is probably your last chance to get rid of him, to sell him. And then after that, you probably look to other players. He is 6.4 mil, so he is in the price gap around Saka. So you could possibly bring in someone that matches just above that mark, maybe a Chelsea player or someone of more benefit. He's still highly owned though, Rafinha. He's 13.2%, but he has had a great season with 76 total shots, 3 assists. He's had 22 shots on goal, and he has gone with 10 goals this season, which isn't that bad for a midfielder, especially with Leeds being in the struggle town.
Just my quick thoughts on Rafinha. Because he's at that price tag of 6.4 million, I do think you can get rid of him for someone like Mount or someone like Havertz, who we do recommend you buy this week. And he's an easy player to get rid of because he's at a similar price. And you look at his fixtures, Palace, okay, could be decent, but then after that, Man City and the double is very bad, you say on paper. So if you need the cash to bring in other midfielders, Chelsea and whatnot, then Rafinha is one that we recommend that you probably get rid of for this week. But yeah, that's why, just the thinking behind that one. Got a couple of comments we'll read out quickly. Ken says, we read this one. Brian says, hi lads, currently have Mount and James. I will look to get City assets this week. I don't think Chelsea players will play both double game week 36 games. Yeah, that's also true. There could be some rotation with Mount or Havertz in game week 36. Will they be trusted to play both? And, could get rotation. So that is a fair comment there.
Yeah.
FPL Penguin joined the stream. How you doing? Hope you're well.
Hey,
He says, this is all right, lads. My red hot pick for this week, Bernardo Silva. Good alternative if you can't afford Kevin De Bruyne. 15 points for Watford last time out too. Yeah, that's a decent shout, to be fair. I haven't thought about that one much.
Plus Bernardo Silva scored last night against Brighton as well. I was pretty surprised.
He did get the goal. I think he hasn't scored in a while, but back on the score sheet. So yeah, he could be a good differential. There's not many. I've not seen many teams with him. So yeah, I like the shout, and especially with Man City's fixtures getting quite good on paper now. So and plus, the title race is gridlocked. So Man City and Liverpool players right now, both good to have. I think there's a lot to play for both those teams. CTK says, "Hey guys, Saka is a hold. Man United are poor. Arsenal scored 4 past Chelsea. What will they do to United?" Yep, that is very true. Also, I watched that game yesterday. I didn't see that coming. To be fair, I didn't think. I was very surprised when I saw Arsenal won that, but put 4 past Chelsea. Slightly rotated defense. I know Rudiger didn't play. I know Thiago Silva didn't start as well. So I don't know. It depends what Chelsea. Would they go strong? If Chelsea go strong against Manchester United. But yeah, I think Saka is a tough one. It's 50-50. I think you only get rid of him if you want the double Chelsea attack, I'd say. But yeah, decent comment there. And then double game week 36. Chelsea will play weak team with Leeds due to FA Cup final. Will be a good game for Raf if you keep him. Yeah, that's another fair shout. Because the double game week for Chelsea is leading up to the FA Cup final, we could expect some rotation, especially with the players like Mount or Havertz. So you got to bear that in mind, guys. Also, when you're bringing in Chelsea, because the FA Cup final, I believe, is after double game week 36, May 14th. So yeah. Now let's move on to the next part of the video. So the next player we recommend you hold in your team is Spurs Harry Kane. Now, with Harry Kane, he is quite expensive, premium player, 12.6 million, and he's on 12 goals for the season at 8 assists. His numbers are looking quite good. His underlying stats, his expected assists per 90 at 0.52, and his expected assists per 90 also at 0.29. He's got very good fixtures, I'd say, on paper. Like game week 34, Brentford, then he has Leicester, then he has Burnley, and then he has Norwich. His double game week is quite tough. He plays Liverpool and then Arsenal. So it's a tough double game week, I'd say, for Spurs. But, if we're looking for a single game week player, I don't think there's many better players to target than Harry Kane. We know the strikers aren't very good. So there's not many options there. So Harry Kane is someone I like the look of, I think he could score. He could easily haul against Brentford. Leicester's a good fixture for him as well. So I do believe you can hold on to Harry Kane this week, guys. I know he hasn't got a double, but he's also one of those players that would have a very good single game week. So I'd probably look to hold him. Now, I have seen some managers tempted to go without Kane or Son to bring in Chelsea or Man United assets. I don't know if that's the smartest or I shouldn't say that. I don't know if that's something I'd be doing. But I can see why also, though, you would want to get rid of someone like Kane or Son, but I don't know if I'd be going there. What's your thoughts on Spurs, Jordan? Do you think we can go without them, or are you going to have one at least, Kane or Son?
I'll probably still have one at least, just in case Tottenham have a good game in any of those fixtures. Because I do expect Kane to do well in that double game week, because he does score against top tier teams rather than lower tier teams. So that double game fixture is going to be interesting for Harry Kane, especially. The single game fixtures, though, like, could be a mixed bag. Maybe Kane gets an assist, maybe a goal, but Son will probably shine more in those single game fixtures. But I think Kane will be more prominent in those double game week fixtures. I know it's Liverpool, and Arsenal too. But I've seen Kane do well against teams like that previously, and I do have faith for him, and I would personally hold him as well.
Okay. So yeah, we both have Harry Kane, don't we? And the plan is to hold him. And I do think you should at least hold your Spurs players. I don't know if I'll be going without Spurs, especially with their fixture run coming up, Brentford and Leicester. But let's move on to the second player that we recommend you should hold, and that is Maddison. And I'll let you explain why you're thinking behind that, Jordan. Why would you hold Maddison?
Okay, this one is an interesting one because this hold is because of the double game week that's just happened in 33. So a lot of people bought in Maddison for that double game week that expected him to play both. But because Leicester got through to the next round in
the Conference League, they rotated, didn't they? Maddison didn't play one of the games.
Yeah, because of that, Maddison didn't play one of the double game week games in 33, which then made people regret bringing him in for that double game week. But now, because you've players that have brought him in now, because he is 17.4% owned now, so a lot of people did bring him in prior to that double game week in 33. You should just hold him off now until game week 36 and 37. If you get rid of him now, he's going to be more expensive for you when you bring him back in.
Yeah.
If you want him back in double game week 36 or 37, despite him maybe being rotated again. But because his price now is 7 mil and you bought him in probably for 6.7, 6.8, depending on what time you bought him in.
6.8, yeah. 6.9 is probably 6.9, I'd say.
Yeah, depending on the price rises. It's going to be more money bringing him back in than it was for him to get rid of him. So it's definitely not worth it at the moment to be looking to sell Maddison for someone else. You probably have to just hold on to him and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, with Maddison, obviously a lot of people bought him in for the double in 33. He did miss one of the games, I believe. So that was a disappointment for Maddison owners. But, he's got that back-to-back double game week. Everton and Norwich, Watford and Chelsea. I'll say that they look very good on paper, those four fixtures. The Chelsea one's a bit tough, but he is a double. And if you already have Maddison, I don't know if I'd be looking to get rid, especially with those upcoming back-to-back doubles. And Villa are struggling recently as well, so you definitely could get something against Villa. And then Spurs, it's quite tough, but I think you just got to hold him now if you have him, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's very clear that you should really hold Maddison now. I'll be very surprised people getting rid of him just because he didn't play that double in 33.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a hold for the rest of the season now.
All right, let's now bring up the next player and back to our ignores now. So the first player on our ignore list and that we think you should ignore for this game week and it is Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, we know what's happened in his personal life. Thoughts go out to Ronaldo and his family. But he does have a double game week against Arsenal and Chelsea, which is, it is quite tough, I'd say, on paper. And with Ronaldo, we don't really know where he's at. Is he going to play? I'm not so sure, are we? So that's also the risk with the getting in Ronaldo. We don't know if he's going to play both games. He could do. But also, even if he does, I think those fixtures are quite tough. And at the price range, he's at 12.2 million. If you're not on a free hit or anything like that, I don't know if I'd be getting... I don't know if I'll be getting in Man United players at the moment, as we've mentioned, because, the 4-0 against Liverpool, they struggled big time. And then another two big games coming up for Man United. And yeah, with Ronaldo, there's a lot of uncertainty that we don't know if he's going to play or not. And purely down to the fact, they're not, Man United aren't on form, if we're being honest. So we do believe he's one you can ignore. And yeah, what's your thoughts on Ronaldo anyway, Jordan, and Man United assets in general for this double game week? Because they do have a double game week, as not many people are talking about. Man United do double.
So yeah, it's a bit up and down because I said before, Ronaldo's a good pick, but obviously because of the reasons, family reasons, personal reasons as well, but because of the Liverpool game too, just no. No, not any Man United players at all. That game they played was, there's no word to describe it. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That just shows how bad Man United have become when that performance has left them with 4-0.
Yeah.
Like, they're both big rivals. That was meant to be like a battle of the Clash of Titans in that game. That was like more of a massacre.
Yeah, Man United just... they struggled big time, didn't they? So yeah, that is why they're on our ignore list. And Ronaldo, he's been transferred in quite a bit, hasn't he? But nah, he
Yeah,
he was someone we'd be definitely looking to ignore. I'd
yeah, his
say.
ownership has gone up a bit. If I just
Yeah.
check how many people bought him in, he
But
is.
yeah, let's move on to the next player that is on our ignore list, and that is Tony. You want to take this one, Jordan? Why we ignoring Tony?
People might be thinking, why ignore Tony? He's been doing well. Well, he has no. Brentford don't have any double game weeks now until the end of the season. There's none at all. I mean, he is a cheap forward, 6.9 mil. He's been getting quite a few goals now here and there. Like, he's got 12 goals. That's probably more than other forwards have that are more expensive, but I still wouldn't be going near Brentford. I mean, there's other picks. I know there's not
Yeah,
much of a pick, but mostly Harry Kane's probably a better pick because he does have a double and he's more
it's
of
just
a.
yeah. Also because 34, 35 Spurs and Man United is quite tough for them. You'd say Man United is a
Yeah,
red fixture as well somehow. And then
just
36,
somehow.
37, 38. I guess their fixtures get a bit better, but for that price tag, 6.9 million, a lot of us are going with cheap forwards, Broya, Mateta, Pookie even. So if you're on a wild card, maybe you can think of getting Tony in, but if you're looking to transfer him in, I don't know if I'd be going there. I've seen Tony is quite highly transferred in this week. Um, Not for us. We wouldn't be going near him. I think he's a solid ignore for us this week, despite his very good form recently.
And
So sorry, what was that?
I'm surprised that his ownership is 18.4%. That is crazy how many people own him.
Yes, a lot of people do own him, and I think his ownership's gone up recently in the last few game weeks. Because he has been getting a few goals. I think he got a couple braces. He does take penalties, so there is some appeal there. But I don't know if it would be for this game week. But yeah, let's do a quick recap, guys, of all the players that we've mentioned. So the two players you should buy are Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. The two we recommend you sell is Saka and Rafinha. The two players we recommend that you hold are Kane and Madison. And also the two players that you should ignore for this game week is Ronaldo and Tony. We've got a couple comments here as well coming through. Let's quickly answer this. From a guy, he says, Havertz, Mount, Captain, Thiago Silva. What are your opinion on these Chelsea assets? Yeah, I like the Chelsea double up. Mount and Havertz could be good, despite the loss yesterday. I think they're still good picks. Hopefully, if they start both games, I do like both those picks. Especially, I think Mount's going to be quite highly owned this week, though. I think most people are going to bring him in, and Thiago Silva, if he plays, yep, another good asset, I'd say. What do you think, Jordan?
With Thiago Silva, it's a bit of a maybe because Christensen could be in contention with Thiago Silva for that position. Now he's back.
Yeah.
So he could be benched Thiago Silva more. And instead of him playing the games he has been playing for the season, I think he's only missed 2 or 3. But I think he'll miss more. So I'll probably better to go with Rudiger, maybe,
Yeah.
if
I
he
think
does play.
Well, you're surprised that Rudiger didn't play yesterday, but
Yeah,
Rudiger is a bit more safe, if we're going through Chelsea players, Rudiger's the one that we think is more nailed, but even he missed out. So I think he should be fine, though, from now to the end of the season. I think he was always going to get one game where he missed out, and it seems it was against Arsenal, which was a surprise. It's a big game for Arsenal and Chelsea. FPL Penguin says he owns Tony, but he sees Brentford really going at Spurs this week. Fair enough. I mean, if you have him, then yeah, I'd hold him. But I don't know if I'll be looking to bring him in. But he does play Spurs. Now, Spurs are coming off the back of a 1-0 against Brighton, aren't they? They just lost to Brighton. So
yeah.
that's going to be an interesting game. Let's see.
But thingy, what's his name? Ericsson has really rallied up Brentford, though, to be fair.
Yeah, Brentford have been, well, they've been going under the radar recently, haven't they? I mean, they've been picking up a couple of wins.
Yeah.
They've climbed up the table a bit because I remember a few weeks ago there was a worry that they could get dragged into the relegation scrap, but they picked up a couple of wins. And yeah, there you go. They're looking a bit better now, Brentford. So yeah, that will be a good game. But Spurs need to win, obviously, as well for the top 4 chase. So it will be an interesting one. Ken says that will be a tough game away to Brentford for Spurs. Maybe. I think Spurs will get the job done, to be fair. I think they will need they'll be on it, I think, Spurs, because after that loss last week, and I think they'd want to get the win after, especially, Arsenal picking up the points yesterday. I think Spurs need to win that game for the top four. But the top four race has just been flipped on its head again, because I didn't see Arsenal winning against Chelsea, and then now they have equal points, same games played. That North London derby in a couple of weeks' time against Arsenal and Spurs is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting, that game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys, that's been the 8 players that we recommend for the buy, sell, hold, ignore. Let us know if we've missed out any players. Let us know if there's any player that we should have added into our list. Is there anyone else that you'd be looking to transfer in? Let us know, guys, what your transfer plans are for this week for your team, who you're bringing in, who you're taking out. We'd love to know. Also, don't forget to smash the like button and also subscribe if you're new. That's about it, Jordan. Shall we quickly check our teams, by the way, for how much points we've got? I'm on 68 points.
Yeah.
Could bring it up on the screen. Or should we do that? Or maybe the next video, actually, tomorrow, aren't we? Because we're going to do a team selection video tomorrow.
Yeah, we could probably bring it out after we've shown our team selections tomorrow in the video.
Okay.
Yeah,
probably do that.
You guys can see our game week points at top. We've got Hussey with 68 and then me with 82.
82. Good week for you so far, then, isn't it?
It's a shocking, surprising week, because I thought at the start of this game week, oh no, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be dismissal, because I had all blanks in the first 2 days of the.
Salah kind of turned it around. You had him as captain and he scored big.
Yeah, I mean, I did send out a tweet earlier on just quoting that moment of, like, do not doubt Salah ever.
Yep, I've been saying that.
Yeah.
Salah could literally, he didn't score for like 3-4 games, but then he comes up with a 19-point haul, and that's what you could do. And it's just a risky. If you take him out and he does that again, then it's always a tough decision what to do.
Yeah.
CTK says Coutinho to Mount for me. Just need to decide captain Salah or Mount. We will have a team selection video out tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, team selection.
Yeah, team selection comes out tomorrow. So we will talk about captain picks and our current transfer plans for our own teams. So be sure to watch that tomorrow. At the moment, I'm tempted to go Salah, even though Mount has a double. Salah against Everton could be good. But he says, CTK says he's on 98 points with some Ward-Prowse to go.
Ward-Prowse, very good. I've got Brohard to go. See good. What Southampton do.
A lot of good high scores all around, really, except me. I went Harry Kane captain, and that kind of backfired. But it is what it is. We'll move on. Hopefully, we can get a green arrow still, but it's looking unlikely. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's been a bit weird because a lot of players have had bad game week points. A lot of people have terrible game week points, but it's just a few that managed to clutch it with captaincy picks for Salah, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, Saka, I know a couple people have Saka as a captain. He ended up being decent after the goal he scored.
And Bruno Guimaraes.
Oh, Ronaldo. A lot of people captained Ronaldo as well this week, didn't they?
Cool, yeah. And imagine having that.
He did score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine having Bruno Guimaraes, Ronaldo, or Salah, and having Saka.
Yeah, I've seen a few free hit teams with Bruno in. But yeah. We'll wrap the video up there, guys. We'll thank everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And hope to see you tomorrow in the team selection video. And then again on Saturday for the deadline stream at 10 a.m. UK time. So don't miss that one out. So yeah, that's the video, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Thanks everyone for watching. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Hope you have a good week. And yeah, peace out.
Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you.
Peace.